Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Brandon Rose, and welcome to episode 317 of the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. Every Monday, this podcast covers new game releases, the previous week's gaming news, and we all learn an Xbox-related fun fact together. The show is on YouTube and podcast services around the world, so please subscribe in your favorite and leave a review. Xboxin10.com, no numbers, is your quick source for links to all of our podcast destinations and social media profiles, which you can follow at Xboxin10. To start, let's talk game releases. The big game out last week was Rematch, and the games coming out this week include Bee Flowers Save the Garden, How to Escape Lost Submarine, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate, Volcano Princess, Beautiful Secure Fighting Club, Exo Calibri, Mainframement, I Am Your Beast, My Recycling Center, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, Anvil Saga, Boxville 2, Cybertank Nano, Infertito's Fiery Dishes, Closely Thunderballs, My Cozy Room, Ruffy and the Riverside, Paperbad, Stasis, System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster, Antro, Bambus, Restaurant Tycoon My Cooking Empire, Creature Kind, Sausage Wars, Screwmaster, Zombie Overloaded, and Truck Driver Gold Edition. Man, people really be putting game idea names into AI and then just naming their games that. Okay. A new slew of games are now available on Game Pass and or are coming soon. They include the following. You can now play FBC Firebreak on Cloud PC and Series X and S. Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time on console and PC. Lost in Random, The Eternal Die, Cloud PC and Series X and S. Star Trucker, Xbox Series X and S. Wild Frost, console. Rematch, Cloud PC and Series X and S. On June 24th, you can play Volcano Princess, Cloud Console and PC. Against the Storm on Cloud and Console, June 26th. As well as Warcraft 1 Remastered on PC, Warcraft 2 Remastered on PC, Warcraft 3 Reforged on PC. Then on June 30th, Call of Duty World War II, console and PC. July 1st, Little Nightmares 2, Cloud Console and PC, as well as Rise of the Tomb Raider, Cloud Console and PC. More of those Activision Blizzard games coming to Game Pass. Now to last week's biggest news stories, and we have 4 to cover this week. Number 1, and it's a big one. Microsoft confirms first-party next-generation Xbox consoles, announces deal with AMD, and promises full backwards compatibility with your existing Xbox library. Wesley Inpool at IGN writes, Microsoft has announced a partnership with AMD to power the next generation of Xbox, including its first-party future Xbox consoles. Quote, announcing that we're building the next generation of Xbox first-party devices and cloud, including our future Xbox consoles, together with AMD, end quote, Microsoft said in a statement published online. Microsoft failed to detail its plans, but did promise, quote, next-level performance, cutting-edge graphics, breakthrough gameplay, and unmatched compatibility, end quote. It also said everything it's working on will be fully compatible with users' existing Xbox game library. Quote, we've established a strategic multi-year agreement with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next-generation Xbox consoles, end quote, Microsoft said. Quote, together we are delivering deeper visual quality, immersive gameplay, and AI-powered experiences, grounded in a platform designed for players, not tied to a single store or device, and fully compatible with your existing Xbox game library, end quote. In a video, Xbox president Sarah Bond said Microsoft was investing in, quote, our next-generation hardware lineup across console, handheld, PC, cloud, and accessories, end quote. The news confirms Microsoft's plans to release another home Xbox console, as well as an Xbox handheld. No release date was mentioned, but Bond did say that we can't wait to show you what's next. Earlier this year, Microsoft was reported to be targeting a 2027 release window for both its next-gen Xbox and its Xbox handheld. At the time, it was said that the next-gen Xbox could be more like a PC than any Xbox before it, and would support third-party storefronts such as Steam, the Epic Game Store, and GOG. Comments from Bond in today's video back up that, quote, this is all about building you a gaming platform that's always with you, so you can play the games you want across devices anywhere you want, delivering you an Xbox experience not locked to a single store or tied to one device, end quote, Bond said. Quote, that's why we are working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming, end quote. In the shorter term, Microsoft is partnering with third parties on Xbox-branded hardware such as the Xbox Ally. This is a handheld gaming PC that runs on a version of Windows 11 designed to be more usable on a handheld. Expect a release later this year. So more concrete details about Xbox's hardware plans for the next generation. Now, if we go back and look to the Series X announcement of the chips and the deals they made to start working on those consoles, that was announced 1 year prior to the release of the Series X and then inevitably the S. So with that historical precedent, are we really going to get these next-gen consoles next year? I've been really lamenting on Phil Spencer's comments at the Xbox Game Showcase, and that the return of someone who has been with us from the start, hinting at Halo coming back next year. And I've been pretty steadfast that there is no way that they are going to release the new Halo game that we all seem to believe will be a Halo 1 remake on Unreal Engine next year. It just seems too soon. Phil Spencer has had to eat his words with Halo launches before. How could he possibly commit to that for next year? Especially when we thought that the next-gen consoles would be 2027. So I really thought that what we were going to get from Halo next year was either going to be Halo Infinite across all devices, or the Master Chief Collection brought back and put on Switch, Sony, PlayStation, yada yada. However, now with this, and that historical precedent, are they really ready for that Halo 1 remake on Unreal Engine for next year? Because now it seems like all the stars could be aligning and that they're going to launch a new next-gen Xbox in a year in which they release a new Fable, a new Forza, a new Gears, and a new Halo. I mean, come on. That is your burgers, fries, and shake of the Xbox 360 glory days on a new shiny piece of tech that is just truly going to be a PC for the living room. That is why they have doubled down so hard on Windows being the best place to play all games. And my assumption is that it's going to just be released on Xbox. There will not be a PC or console release. They will just release an Xbox game, making it even easier for everyone to understand. I don't know, a lot of conspiratorial hat stuff going on in my brain. Number 2, Xbox Edition MetaQuest VR headset leaks ahead of rumored release next week. Fraser Gilbert at Pure Xbox writes, "It's been a busy time for Xbox announcing new hardware recently, and it sounds like it's going to happen again before the end of the month, according to a new rumor which suggests an Xbox Quest 3S VR headset is on the way." This is coming from Kevin Lopez at Game Sandwich, who says the device will essentially be a newly colored MetaQuest 3S with various Xbox add-ins, including an Xbox controller and 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. The report mentions that the Xbox branded MetaQuest 3S will be shadow dropped on June 24th, which seems to suggest it'll become available for purchase on the same day it's announced. The belief is that it's going to cost $399 at launch, and it'll feature a black and green headset unlike the standard white version. And by the way, Meta has confirmed in the past to be working on a VR headset with Xbox, stating all the way back in April of 2024 that the headset would be a limited edition model inspired by Xbox. It's taken a long time to come to fruition, but it sounds like it's finally ready to go. Since that news story was published, we have got some leaks of the box, and yes, it's just the MetaQuest 3S, but with some nice Xbox branding. I do think this is smart. I don't think this is obviously a big seller for it, but it's less risky for Microsoft to just be partnering with other hardware manufacturers such as Meta on this device, and really fulfilling their vision of play the Xbox games on whatever device you want. Because of this story, and before I started recording this podcast, I charged up my MetaQuest 3, and I've not really played any Game Pass Ultimate on the cloud through that, so I think I'm going to give that a shot this week. Number 3, Bungie indefinitely delays Marathon following negative feedback. Sean Carey at True Achievements writes, "After taking on board feedback from players who recently participated in the Shooter's Alpha playtest, Bungie has delayed Marathon, with the studio saying it needs more time to test the game and introduce some changes. Bungie announced the delay for the upcoming Xbox shooter in a new blog post. Following the game's reveal and recent playtests, the developer says it needs more time to shape Marathon into a game that reflects the passion of its players, and as a result has delayed the game's September 23rd release. The developer adds that it will now use this extra time to empower the team to create the intense high-stakes experience that a title like Marathon is built around. Over the coming months, the Marathon team will focus on upping the survival game by adding more challenging AI encounters, more rewarding runs, and making combat more tense and strategic. It will also work to improve the game's visual fidelity, introduce more narrative and environmental storytelling, and adding new features such as proximity chat. The delay comes off the back of a significant controversy where Bungie admitted that stolen artwork was found in Marathon test builds. The developer claims a former Bungie artist included another artist's texture sheet without the rest of the art team's knowledge." This was 100% necessary, and thank God they are doing it. Because of all the controversy and the negative feedback from the alpha, it really seemed like this game was really being set up to fail come out in September. And I don't think this is super crazy to say, but could have been the end of Bungie. With Destiny seemingly falling off a cliff and all the controversial stories about Marathon, it just has not been good. Take the time you need and please make this game better. I'm excited to finally get my hands on this game when they are ready. Arc Raiders was really the first extraction shooter experience I had with that alpha earlier this year, and that is coming out in October, so these were also going head to head. Marathon can now take the time, let Arc Raiders come out, and maybe have a big pop, hopefully next year, when they take more time to make all of the necessary improvements. Number 4, Capcom to reveal more Resident Evil Requiem and Pragmata and Showcase next week. Wesley and Poole at IGN writes, Capcom has announced a Spotlight digital event set for next week when it will show more Resident Evil Requiem, Pragmata, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Street Fighter 6. The Capcom Spotlight livestream is set for 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, June 26th and will last 40 minutes. Capcom said to expect the latest news on the company's upcoming games as well as interviews with the developers. Specifically, Monster Hunter Wilds fans will get details on Title Update 2, which is set to release at the end of the month. Capcom announced Resident Evil Requiem during Summer Game Fest earlier this month with an eye-catching trailer. Pragmata, meanwhile, re-emerged at Sony's State of Play showcase with a new release date, a trailer, and information on what the game actually is. Street Fighter 6 also turned up at Summer Game Fest to reveal its Year 3 roster of playable DLC characters. Sagat is out this summer, Sea Viper this fall, Alex early spring 2026, and finally Ingrid late spring 2026. Cannot wait for this. Show me more Resident Evil Requiem. I cannot wait. I can't wait to get my hands on this. And thank you, Capcom, for announcing games and not making us wait years to play them, as this game is due out in February, barring any delays. Resident Evil is one of my favorite franchises of all time, if not my favorite, so I cannot wait. As always, we end our show with a fun fact about Xbox, and since we were talking about the AMD chips, why don't we run through a list of the code names and then the inevitable consoles that AMD put GPUs in history. So, starting in 2001 and going to modern day, we had Project Dolphin or the GameCube, Xenon or the Xbox 360, Revolution or the Wii, Project Cafe or the Wii U, Durango or the Xbox One, Liverpool or the PlayStation 4, Neo or the PlayStation 4 Pro, Scorpio Engine or the Xbox One X, Lockhart, the Xbox Series S, Anaconda, the Xbox Series X, Oberon, the PlayStation 5, Aerith, the Steam Deck, the Phoenix, the ROG Ally, and Viola, the PlayStation 5 Pro. Thank you all for listening to the Xbox in 10 podcast, your weekly source of Xbox gaming news covered in around 10 minutes. If you like the show, please subscribe on your favorite podcast service, share it with your friends, leave a review, and follow on all social media at Xbox in 10. This past week, I have not had much time to play any games, so it's been just a little bit of Mario Kart World in bed, as well as Marvel Snap on the phone. Excited to edit this show on my Sunday afternoon and get back to playing more Clair Obscur Expedition 33. My name is Brandon Rose. You can follow me on Xbox at Brosa93. Hope you all have a great week. Stay safe and keep on gaming.